Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a special one of Mia's World. Guys, it's been 1 year. Mia's World has now been alive, born, I would say, 1 year. Can you believe it? Like, I don't know. For me, it's still hard to believe that it's been 1 year of me starting this podcast. And obviously, after 1 year, there was a lot of reflection that was made. As you would have noticed, this episode is live on a Friday, not on a Wednesday, because there's two reasons to it. First of all, the week before, I was extremely sick, so I lost my voice, which kind of made me change my schedule. And then, second of all, I thought, you know what, let's do a special one because the first episode of Me as Well was published on the 29th of November 2023, and now we're going to be 29th of November 2024. It's crazy. And obviously, with a lot of episode that has been through, I've heard a lot of people asking me why Mia's World and what is Mia's World all about. So I thought, let's use today's episode to kind of explain to my audience why I created this platform and why I created this channel and what I'm trying to do through this channel. So, as you may have noticed, is from episode 1 to 16, this was just a solo episode that was recorded only through audios. There was no videos because I was recording them at home in my bedroom through my phone, and then I was editing the audios and publishing them on Spotify and Apple Podcast. In these episodes, I talk about different things. So first of all, where I'm from, how my childhood impacted me a lot. I wanted to share advices because me as an island girl who moved and lived in big cities, I wish I had such platform to understand how to go about living in a big city and to also know that I'm not alone and I have someone to listen to and give me faith to kind of keep moving forward. As I always mentioned throughout all my episodes that I did solo, I'm not a therapist. I'm not an expert in any of these fields. All I'm trying to do is sharing my personal experience to you guys so you can actually learn from my journey and my mistakes or my wins. So that's how it first started. And then over the time, I realized that the people that I connect with are very important because they impact my life one way or the other. I build connection with these people. We share stories because that's one thing that's very important is that even if we all are very different and our journey is always very different, there will always be that one thing that you will be able to connect with someone with. And that's why all the people and guests that you've seen on Mia's World are always someone that I connected with about something. And these people are also important people because they shaped the way that I see life. They also challenge my thoughts, and I like to put out there that it's very important to think outside the box. It's very important to be curious, and that is the whole purpose of Me as Well, is to share a message and a platform that you have. All our story is very different, but you will be able to connect with one of these stories that even in these darkest times that there are hope, when you see the journeys of people that left their home country to come to Dubai, make it happen, make their dream happen. It's to raise this awareness, to tell people that you can make it. If I made it, and if I'm making it, I know I have a long way to go, but if I look at my guests, that they made it, that they've achieved what they want to do, and they're on that road of achieving their goals, then anyone out there, you can do it too, And last but not least, one thing very important that I want to put out there on Me as Well is that when I was young, I thought that I didn't have a voice, that I was just a basic person. And I just want to let you guys know that you are not basic. Everyone have a voice. I have a voice. You have a voice. So that's why I like to open my podcast for people to come on board, share your story, share your voice, because you will learn so much through people's story. You will learn the good, you will learn the bad, you will be able to analyze, what do I want to take out of the story? What do I don't want to take out of the stories? So, yeah, that is basically the purpose of me as well. And all of these people, all of these conversations shape the woman that I am now, standing right in front of you. So that's one part that I really wanted to put out there, because I had a lot of question about the purpose of Mia's World and what's Mia's World all about. And I hope that I answered that question. Now, I also had to sit down and go through each and every episode that I've recorded on camera. And I've learned a lot of things over the past year doing these recordings, guys. One thing I've noticed is that since the first actual visual podcast I've recorded, that I've changed a lot my hairstyle over the year. But hey, that's me. But the most important thing is that initially, when I wanted to do this overview and kind of reflect back on the whole year, I wanted to talk about each episode, but I would be sitting here for hours and hours to kind of tell you exactly why the message of this guest impacted my life, what was so important about it. What I would invite you to do is to actually go and listen to them, because they are a very valuable episode. In all of these episodes, the common factor that you would see is that all of them talk about resilience. All of them failed and stood up for themselves and made their dream happen. All of them took action to make that dream happen. We talk a lot about growth, but most importantly, we talk about consistency. And consistency is something that I've learned and I kept doing with this podcast. If I was not consistent with Mia's World, I would have not made it to 1 year. Being consistent means that there are days where you will be sick and you will not be able to record, but then you'll find your way to record 2 episodes back to back. Being consistent means that when you're going to finish late work, you're going to drive in the traffic for an hour to come for a recording and have a late recording that night. Being consistent means that even in the days where you're going to doubt yourself, you're still going to keep forward, because you will remember your purpose. You will remember your why. So keep going. If you're starting your podcast, whatever dream that you guys are doing, not just a podcast, any project you're working on, be consistent. And I just want to put it out there. This is just the beginning. I would have never thought that this podcast would see the light would still see the light after a year. But here we are, and I'm still here, and there's so much more coming up, guys. I cannot wait to talk more about that. One more thing I would like to highlight. Another thing that I've realized throughout recording all of these episodes is the importance of community. We talk a lot about this in each and every single episode. The importance of community. The people that I met are part of communities that I'm part of. So, like a place like Dubai where you may feel lonely time to time, I just want to let you know that you're not alone. There are beautiful communities out there that you can join. So go through these episodes, find the community that you like, or I would invite you to just do your research work. And I'm pretty sure whatever you're interested in, you will find your people. You'll find like-minded people. And just so you know, you're not alone. There's people out there. And that's the reason, and that's another reason, as I mentioned at the beginning, that Mia's World is here, is to let you know that me, as a big sister, as a sister, or as a friend, as however you perceive me, I'm here for you. And if you ever need anyone to speak to, you've got my Instagram, guys. You can reach out, you can DM me, and let's have a conversation. Let's meet up for coffee. And I'm always happy to go meet up people and grab coffee and have a nice conversation, a face-to-face conversation, a real conversation. So, you're not alone. I'm here. And obviously, with all of this episode, I've grown a lot as a woman. It impacted me a lot. And it's very funny because each of these episodes that I was recording was somehow happening at specific moments in my life. Um, where, for example, I was going through something, and then after having a conversation with my guest, I realized that, oh, actually, it's fine. Like, I'm going to make it happen. Each conversation inspired me so much to keep going. Each feedback, each likes, each repost, and every messages that I've been receiving throughout the year kept me going. Now, I'm not going to lie, this podcast didn't receive only love. I had some hate, I had criticism and all of this. And this is how I see it. As much as I am annoyed when I receive these kind of messages, and it really annoys me, it boils my blood sometimes, because sometimes when people don't understand your vision and don't understand that you're still on the way to grow, it can be annoying because you're still in that growth stage. But I just want to say that these criticism helped me to be better. I take this criticism as a way to keep going. And also, one thing that I've also realized is that during those bad days or those bad moments, I'm not gonna lie, there was moment where I doubted myself a lot, where I asked myself, is this good what I'm doing? Am I really helping anyone out there, or I'm just wasting my time? And you will have these moments of self-doubt a lot of time, but I just kept remembering my why. I just kept understanding of like, okay, it's okay. There are also, I think another reason why I think I doubted myself a lot is the amount of podcasts that are now available in the world. It's crazy. But we all are very unique. All our podcasts, all our messages are very unique. And that is the beauty. And now that we have resources such as podcasts to be able to learn, I want to make the most out of this. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for all your support. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for still tuning in every Wednesday, waiting for my episode. Thank you for reposting. Thank you for the comments, the support, the love. Thank you to every single guest that came on this podcast, that made time for me, that took time off their personal life to come on Me As Well and record with me. I do have to say as well a big shout out to Podcast Hub, because without them, this dream wouldn't have happened. I have such an incredible team. You see me here, but my team behind is just one of the best team I've had. And Me As Well wouldn't happen without them. So I owe them a big, big chunk of this podcast happening. I also have a big shout out to Meliora Concept Design. Obviously, they helped me with the logo of Me As Well, with the branding of Me As Well. And we're still working on improving. So just bear with me, guys. I'm still improving slowly but surely. And I guess my biggest message that I want to put out there is that it is rough. It's not always sunshine and butterflies. There are days where I'm very tired and I'm still showing up at the recording, but always remember your why. Always remember what you're trying to achieve, and understand the impact that you're trying to do to the world. And honestly, I just want to say that if you know your why and you know why you're doing this, and I think for me, my biggest why is raising self-awareness and really putting episode out there where I know that at least one person would relate to it. At least one person would be able to listen to it and not give up on their dream and not give up on whatever they're working or going through, then that is the biggest win for me. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. And one thing also you guys should know, I'm still very bad doing solos. You'll see me looking around because I'm still not comfortable doing solos and looking straight at the camera. But we're working on it. We're improving and we keep going forward, guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone. It is emotional when I think about it, but I'm not going to cry. Promise this to myself. And I'm actually excited for what's next for Mia's World. I really look forward for you guys to listen to the next episode. It is such a beautiful episode, guys. There is a movement that will be released through this episode, but you'll know more about it next week. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'm here for anyone listening. You're not alone. You got this. Remember, you can do it. If I did it, if my guest did it, you can do it too. And what can you expect for the upcoming year? Much more episode. We'll have returning guests. I plan to have returning guests to kind of do like maybe like, you know, those 1 year review of when you first saw them at the beginning to now. Again, these are people from my close circle or people that I spend a lot of time with. You will have new guests obviously coming on board. And we will have not one guest, 2 guests on board, and we'll be talking about bigger topics. So yeah, very exciting. Don't forget, guys, to like, subscribe, follow the page, follow in the Instagram Mia's World, and to be able to stay tuned on every updates, because most of the updates that I gave about the podcast is on the Instagram. And yeah, I'm excited for what's next. I'll do one more solo episode at the end of the year, or actually either the end of the year or the 1st of January. I haven't planned that yet, but still working on it. So really looking forward to it, guys. Yeah, thank you so much once again. And I'm going to say happy birthday to Mia's World. Happy birthday to Mia's World. I had to do it. So on that note, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you again for all the love and all the support. Stay tuned, guys. There's a lot of beautiful episodes coming up. There's so much planned for Mia's World. This is just the beginning. The studio is going to move to some better places. So yeah, really excited for what's next for Mia's World. So thank you once again. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.